guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I've been on YouTube, and if you guys can't tell already by the little like halo on top of my head, I did get a ring light, so that just makes it easier to film inside my room. I used to film with 3 softboxes, and the motivation to just put that up was horrible, but if I didn't have good lighting, I also just didn't want to film because it didn't make it look good. Okay, there was just a whole lot of things. Also, as you guys know, as classes start, then I kind of like disappear because school is my priority. And then I also got an internship, so I've been like going to school part-time, I guess you could say, because it's full-time, but I'm not gonna get into that. And my internship part-time, so yeah. So that's really been occupying my time, and then I just got really busy with doing other stuff for social media. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys would know I'm pretty active on there. And I've also just been giving myself a social life because I don't ever want to regret not having a social life. I'm a person who's an extrovert, so this quarantine time has been really hard for me. We will deal with it, you know? With that being said, I don't want to make this intro super long. I'll get to more things at the end of this video. I know this type of video is not the most interesting for everyone. I've just been wanting to do it for a couple of years, and I feel like right now is the perfect time because some of you guys are probably really confused on how to work online classes, although we've probably been doing it for 2 weeks now. I've been fortunate enough to where half of my college has been online, not by choice, well, kind of by choice. And so I've really developed some techniques where I've like succeeded in my online classes. All of my online classes have been A's. I have been on the border between A's and B's, okay? I'm not gonna be like, oh my gosh, they're high A's, but I can deal and manage online classes. And so I know a lot of you guys are worried on how you're gonna be able to do online classes, and I just want to help you guys and give you guys tips on what I've learned by doing these online classes. I've just said online classes way too much. Okay, let's just get started. So I actually wrote all the tips down inside a notebook because I do feel like I need this to be organized to get my point across. So the first tip I have for you guys is to know when everything is due. Look at the syllabus, know how much time you have to do it. Of course, right now we all have all the time in the world. I just wanted to say to please inform yourself when everything is due, just because it makes everything less stressful and you can either work ahead or continue to procrastinate even though we have all the much time that we have and do it last minute. So again, just know when everything is due, and then this goes on to my next tip. So the second tip that I have is to write everything down in a planner, whether that is a digital planner or an actual physical planner. So if you guys watch my back to school supplies haul, every single year I get a planner just because it is essential for me. Again, because I do online classes, for me it is essential to have a planner because I'm not always having a professor remind me when stuff is due. It also just helps me stay organized and know what I need to do for the week, and I'm not having to like look through so many different like calendars and like due dates and stuff. I'm trying to find something in my planner that's like really busy so I could show you guys how I write my planner. I'm gonna show you guys the October of last year. I brought the brightness down a little bit. This is what my planner looks like. I write down every single due date, so like anytime something is due for the week for a certain class, I'll write it down, and I do it color coded just because it helps me. Like, I know the colors in my head, and so I know exactly what I have to work on. So everything that is due on every single day, well, except like discussion posts, I don't really write that down on like the month section just because I have discussion posts due every single time. When you're in an online class, that's kind of like the basics of it, and I just don't feel the need to write that down. But I do that for the entire month, and then weekly I will just write down every single thing that I have to do that day or that's due that day. I cannot stress this enough how much a planner is really necessary, but like I said, you guys can do it digitally. I know some people prefer to write things down in like a Google Calendar and it'll like notify your phone, like that's completely fine. So I definitely suggest doing that. And while you plan, set reminders too, that way you know when to start studying or just when a huge project is due so you don't miss those points. So after you've written down everything in your calendar or your planner, decide accordingly kind of what you're gonna do every single day. You don't have to do a whole class in an entire day, or you don't have to work on all your classes every single day. It really just depends on how it works for you. For me, it's always been kind of like I do a whole class one day and then I'm done with that class until like the next week. And that just kind of works for me, but it doesn't work for everyone. So depending on what day the things for a certain class are due, that kind of decides what day of the week I work on that class. So let's say the stuff for class A is due next Monday, but the stuff for like class B is due on Friday. I will work on the stuff for class B first and get that done first, and then work for the stuff for class A. So that just really kind of helps me. The fourth tip that I have is to set your due dates to a day or two prior to the actual due date. I don't do this. I've definitely told other people who have told me they're bad with due dates to do this because it just makes it easier on you. That way you're not like procrastinating and working on it at the last minute. If you set the due date for like even the day before it's actually due, you have it done and you don't have to worry about it not being done and then taking forever to do. So I just recommend doing that. Although I don't do it, so I will tell you I don't do it, but like I do recommend if you're bad on due dates. The fifth tip I have is to consider how much time each assignment is going to require. So we know that discussion posts are pretty easy to do. Those can be done within a couple of hours or even less than an hour. But then there are projects where you know you need to have more time to do it. Look at a project and then kind of decide when you're going to start on it, just because some things do take longer than others. You know, I've had projects where I majored in journalism, so this is probably different. So I do have projects where I need to like reach out for interviews and give time for them to get back to me, do the interviews, go film, stuff like that. Of course, now that we're doing social distancing, that's not really something that my professors want me doing. But it was my online class this semester, so I just want to like give an example. So just know that like sometimes you may have to plan days in advance to start the project, or sometimes you can even start that day. So like yesterday afternoon I did a whole project. It really just depends, but like know how much time you're gonna need. The sixth tip I have is to use your resources. I cannot tell you how important it is when you're in an online class to actually have the textbook, but it also depends on which class it is, you know what I mean? So like if you need to read the textbook, actually read the textbook. Like some classes, I will kid you not, sometimes you don't need to read it and it's super easy, but some classes you do. Like I've had an applied design class where you had to read to know like the instructions, or not the instructions, but like exactly what to do and how to like do your assignment, kind of. It all explained how to do it, and then we had a group meet and people were like, Gisselle, you should have taught this class, because no one read the textbook or knew. So I'm just saying read the textbook if you actually need to read it. Go over all the material provided by your professor, all the links and just stuff that they want you to watch, because it will help you for further assignments. I can't talk. It'll help you with further assignments. Look up examples. Like I said, I'm majoring in journalism, so my mistake was probably taking this class where I had to teach myself how to write in AP style, which is not difficult, but it's definitely not normal. So in that class, I would just look at examples of like news stories to know kind of like what I needed to do, and that helped me succeed. Look up tutorials. I know lynda.com for like Adobe and just other softwares and stuff work, so look up tutorials on how to do things. Just Google it, YouTube, everything's on YouTube and the internet. Trust me, look up tutorials. And if you're doing math or anything, I know Mathway and Desmos works. I don't know if you have to pay for it. I haven't had to do math since high school, and that's been like 3 years. Just use your resources. You are at home, and if you don't know how to do something, there are some websites that will explain perfectly what you need to do. The seventh tip I have is to not be afraid to email your professor. Professors are actually there to help you, except I have had like maybe 1 or 2 professors that just like don't respond to emails, and it's an online class where it's like you kind of need to. Don't be afraid to email your professor or think that you're bothering them. I know sometimes I start my emails with like, I'm really sorry to bother you, but like, and I've had professors be like, no, like, this is my job, this is what I'm here for, to explain stuff to you. Don't be afraid to email your professors if you have a question, even if you think it's stupid, and just to email them as much as you need to. In some classes I don't reach out because there's no point to, but then there are some classes where like I need some clarification on an assignment or how to do something, or like I took a quiz and I didn't understand why I got something wrong, so I will email my professor, and they like that. You know, that builds a connection bond, and then you can reach out to them for reference letters. So that's the thing to do. I always, like I said, I think my professors are probably really annoyed by me by now. If it's an online class, I always make sure to email them. Also, another thing, and this isn't with every single professor, although I'm just not gonna say who. There are so many professors that will make a mistake on a quiz, and if you have proof to back it up, then go ahead and email your professor, because those points count, okay? You could be missing those points and maybe someone else won't email it, but you can, and I recommend doing that because that's what I would do, and I'm pretty sure my professors hate me now. The 8th tip that I have is to start a group me. I know this seems kind of hard, but I know on Canvas and Blackboard there's an option to message all your classmates, and if no one has started it, start it yourself. Start a group me and send the link or something to like, I don't know how you do it because I've never started one for like an entire class online, but just send a message to all your classmates and then be like, hey, we started a group me just to help each other on assignments, remind each other and stuff. If you want to join, here's the link. And I promise you, so many people in the online class end up like getting into the group me just because it is helpful. I don't really use the group me. I would rather just email the professor myself, but sometimes another student has already and they'll know the answer, or they'll understand it more than you and explain it better. So start a group me. It really is beneficial. The 9th tip that I have is to go to a place where you can sit down and focus. Some online classes are harder work than others, and so you do need to be in a quiet place. I know for myself, like I can't study with people around, not that you can do that during quarantine, but like let's say once we're out of the social distancing thing, go to a place where you can sit down and do your work. If I ever had some free time between classes and I like did work online for a certain class, like in college, whatever, I would just go sit down by myself, isolate myself, not really isolate, but you know, just not talk to anyone and get through it. And so I think that's really essential for you to do. And the 10th tip and last tip that I have is to just do all the extra credit that is offered. I do think it is harder now to do extra credit than it was before we were social distancing, but like so many times in online classes, professors will offer extra credit options where it's that like you participate in a research study, like a survey, or you just go and watch like a movie presented by a certain club that they sponsor or whatever. Professors love to give out extra credit sometimes, and I would say take that opportunity. Again, like I said, it is an online class. You are sometimes teaching yourself, and so I do think that those points are sometimes necessary and needed. Like, I kid you not, I know extra credit has always been, not always, but like in some classes it's been the point where I could either make an A or a B. Unless if I know that I don't need to do it to still get an A in the class, I won't do extra credit. Normally I will, just because like I would rather assure myself that A. But we're not just talking about A's here. Like, it could literally be your pass or fail. It just depends on how you are doing in the class. Do that extra credit. I don't know why I clapped. I'm just trying to emphasize it because I know a lot of people are like, oh, extra credit, optional, not gonna do it. I'm just trying to help you out here, okay? And those are all my tips that I have. If you guys have any more questions on online classes, I could probably answer them if you leave them down below in the comments. But yeah, that is it for my video. I really do hope to be back and filming for you guys often. I do have more time. I just do want to say that I cannot really leave my house and it's gonna rain all next week. But if you guys have any video suggestions, leave them down below in the comments. I definitely want to do a get ready with me, an updated makeup routine. Maybe I can do an updated makeup collection and a jewelry collection. I've never done one, but I definitely want to do one because like it has grown, okay? I wish I could redo my room, but like right now just maybe I can redo part of it. I also want to do some like maybe cooking videos, and maybe that'll teach me and motivate me to learn how to cook because I don't cook. I mean, I know how to make like some basic stuff, that's it. I want to do some live streams. I feel like we all need that interaction, and I remember doing live streams like a couple of years ago and that was so much fun. So if you want to like join in on some live streams, let me know what times would be better for you. Some Q&As, you guys can ask me random questions. Honestly, just give me stuff to do, you know what I mean? I want to film. I feel like a YouTuber with my ring light. We got this, okay? But yeah, that is it for my video. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching it or found it really helpful at least. And then don't forget to subscribe. I will be uploading more videos frequently, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye everyone.